All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today what I need to go over is an interview that Herman Hulst from PlayStation Studios, or PlayStation in general, has come out and said some really profound things, some things we knew were coming, and some things, just some clarification, really. So I want to break down what he kind of said, some bullet points, explain why there might be some hesitation going forward, and some minor disappointment here in regards to what's going on, even though in a business sense it makes sense. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, what I'm going to go over here real quick is some interview bullet points that Herman Hulst from PlayStation, one of the figureheads under Jim Ryan, has come out and said and stated to clarify kind of the direction that PlayStation's going in, what it means for PlayStation exclusive games, how long they'll be on a console versus going to PC, games as a service, what that means, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to pull this from Twitter. Nibelian, go ahead and give him a follow. He has a lot of good scoops and news, and he's able to take part in a lot of events and all that. So he has kind of a lot of information there, and he's pulling this from Axios.com, but goes into detail and just bullet points some of this out, but always good to find information there. So going through this, in a new interview with Herman Hulst, quote, live service games will come from newly acquired teams and Sony's internal teams too. Not all of them will use original IPs. SP titles, which single-player titles, still the most profitable ones. More cross-gen titles could come. It's a case-by-case scenario. It's been over 2 years now, or just about 2 years now for a PS5, and they're becoming easier and easier to get. However, I don't know if I really agree with the whole cross-gen. Going forward, part of the reason you have a PS5 is to just really squeeze out what you can get from a game. Not just, oh, hey, I can get 60 frames 4K. This isn't a PC only. This is a console that's supposed to just have those abilities and features, which it does, but I feel like cross-gen is holding that back, but more on that possibly in a moment here. But goes on to state, Hulst mentions that the PC versions actually help PlayStation to invest more into bigger projects. So any of the PC ports and versions that Nixxes is a big developer that PlayStation acquired that is helping port a lot of the games like Spider-Man and, Horizon and Uncharted and all that stuff. So they're a big reason why those get ported over there. So, it does help. You're getting more money, right? So again, as a business sense, it makes sense to do this. It allows us to continue to invest even deeper into their projects. PlayStation will also improve its mobile game development and partner up with other companies. So for those of you that don't know, the mobile market is actually super, super profitable. It's great. It has great success overseas, I would say. Especially in Asia, China, stuff like that. Very, very big. And even in the US and other countries and territories, it is huge. PUBG Mobile, you got Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, you've got Raid, Shadow Legends that I'm sure everybody's heard of multiple times, and a lot of ads, as well as Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, anything from King, such as, Candy Crush, and just the list goes on and on, right? Mobile market is actually huge, and it's a major, major profit for a lot of companies. So we will be seeing PlayStation IPs and other sorts of transition games over to the mobile markets. I guarantee you that is what they're doing, but how soon that'll happen, we'll see. It's just in the works, and it takes time. In the Famitsu interview, though, Hulst also confirms that there are a few studios that use the Decima engine, which is Horizons and Death Strandings. Asked about Sony's own Japanese IP, Ape Escape is brought up. He refers to the strong partnerships with the Japanese studio. So he claims to state that there is a lot of strong relationships still, and they want to do that. Obviously, Astrobot's a big thing, and they're kind of just making things happen with Japan studios and stuff like that. Herman Hulst also confirms that live service games will launch on PC and PlayStation on day one. So games as a service, there's not going to be a delay over to PC. It is day and date for PlayStation and PC, not Xbox, not Nintendo, but PlayStation and PC. That is actually really, really big. The other thing that he did go over is, more games are starting to come over to PC as well and quicker. So my concern is at least having a year out. I think that's still fine, but it is just more and more inevitable. They're going to be having, it's been slated for Sackboy's A Big Adventure's coming, Returnal's coming. Those games have been out well over a year now, but they are coming. And I don't know if things are going to tighten up and shorten up, but it seems that's the case. But it does ultimately, the thing that makes sense is the fact that PlayStation is getting more money. As a business sense, it makes sense because they're getting more money. They're expanding, but they're not necessarily landing on other competitor platforms. PC is not considered a competitive platform with what Epic and Steam is on there. They're their own entities for sure. But PlayStation has a very strong partnership and has invested a lot within Epic to utilize technologies and great strong partnerships with, you see in Fortnite. So PlayStation leads the IP franchise on Fortnite when it comes to skins like Horizon, right? You got Aloy, you've got God of War, you have just a plethora amount of other IPs and skins that are coming from PlayStation. Spider-Man, even though that's Marvel Disney, that is still very tied together with PlayStation. You have Gears of War and Halo for Xbox side of things. We are definitely not seeing any Mario or Zelda or anything like that from the Nintendo side. They are very stingy in relinquishing or sharing their properties, even the likeness or anything like that. They're very, very tight. One of the only true ecosystems right now that's keeping it on their platforms and nowhere else for the most part. They might have some guest stars in other games and stuff like that every once in a blue moon, but other than that, it's very tight with what they do. It's just, I'll tell you what, my big thing is they're keeping the cross-gen thing happening as well to get that money out as well. It's funding more projects, making games, developing games, acquiring new studios costs a lot of money. It's so any way, shape, or form, if they're going to recoup that, if they can make a game work on the PlayStation 4 and PS4 Pro, they're going to do that, and then they're going to give the power boost over to the PS5 side. But, we get some PS5 only titles and stuff. You have Returnal, you have Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We're going to be having Spider-Man 2 that's a PS5 only game. Wolverine will be a PS5 only game by the time those come out. So it's going to be a case by case, I think, on how that works. I don't foresee Factions, The Last of Us multiplayer standalone multiplayer game Factions. I don't see that coming to PS4. There's no way it can just handle that and what's going on. So that'll more than likely be a PS5 only game. There's just a lot to unpack from that. Just the fact that he is like, yeah, we're doing mobile market. Yeah, case by case cross-gen still at this point in time. Yes, day and date for games as a service for PC and PlayStation. The timetable will probably get shorter and shorter on PlayStation exclusive first-party games going to PC. We'll see if it shortens less than a year. I really think if you can keep that 12 months gap, it still gives you a good feeling and a good reason to have a PlayStation console. My other benefit is this, and a lot of you PC fans out there, or PC gamers out there, can probably attest to this. Now, if you've been gaming for a long time or even a few years on PC, you're used to it. You're used to the workarounds on the games. Sometimes there's broken ports, and a lot of times there's not, but there's always a workaround. You have to tweak things. You have to tweak the settings. It's not a fire up and go a lot of the times. There's always something you have to do, and that's just the fact of the matter, and that's fine. And a lot of the PC folks out there, I'm sure, enjoy that. and like doing that. But for me, for myself, when I'm tired after a long day like today, what I want to do if I'm not watching a show or something and I'm ready to game, I just want to hit the power on button, flip on that game, get ready to go. I don't want to have to worry about tweaking settings. I don't want to have to tweak settings when I get a game on day one either. Yes, it's going to have a patch. And the other thing is too, with we'll see what the future holds. I know I went over a lot of this before in previous videos, but here in 15 years, there's going to be a lot more streaming. There's going to be a lot more downloading only. The physical media is going to continue to go away. You know, if you think about it, a lot of folks that I talk to don't even think about it sometimes on the PC side of things, where they're like, oh yeah, PC doesn't do hardware anymore. There might be collector's editions for this and that, but there's no physical media, and people, the collectors and stuff, or even just some of the casuals that just like to have the physical games and all that, you don't get that anymore on PC. And I do foresee that being a thing eventually in consoles. It's just going to be a streaming or download to it, because the carbon footprint is going to go away. It saves money not to produce these physical discs being printed nonstop. A lot of these collector's editions already, such as the Ragnarok editions for God of War even coming out, doesn't come with the disc. It has the digital copy download code, and you have a steelbook and all the goodies that come with it. But it's just a fact, folks, that we're moving towards another thing. So for us purists out there that like to have physical media, and I do know there's benefits to the digital side to a point, such as not swapping out the disc and just making things quicker that way. But it is nice to have that disc. If anything happened to any sort of data server for those games that you even own online that you bought flat out and you're downloading, anything could happen to those files and stuff. And I know that's a big thing. Most of my catalog is digital, but I am fully aware of that. But, you know, I could go on and on and on here, but there's just a lot to unpack. I do miss the days of old where, man, just you still get hit after hit after hit on PlayStation. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is the place to play. I feel like it has the best quality exclusives. And until that's proven otherwise, this is the place to be for it. And I'm happy with that, but I do miss I feel like there's just no communication right now. I don't know if we're getting a show. I don't know what's going on. So I'm kind of flabbergasted here with everything that's going on. I'm fine with having games go to PC. As long as it stays 12 months, like I've said multiple times before. Just give a reason to have that console aside from simplicity terms and making things easier. And I enjoy playing on a big 65-inch TV. I'm not a pro esports gamer that needs to go hard on a 29-inch, 27-inch monitor with better latency. That way you get great latencies with the OLEDs and the LGs and the Sonys and stuff like that. That is more than fine to be pretty competitive on online multiplayers and stuff like that. But so unless you're going esports, I don't see the reason to go smaller on monitor. Personally, I just love the whole out there. Everybody can watch. Everybody can kind of partake. I just love the console gaming as a whole. But anyways, this is a very long video at this point, so I appreciate everybody sticking around, making this happen. Just wanted to divulge there, so definitely let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down below regarding some of this information. Are you a big, hard PlayStation fan where some of this upsets you, or does it not matter? Just would love to hear from you, all that. I'm still wrapping my head around it, to be honest, and I knew about this in early afternoon. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but wanted to share. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave a like, comments, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. Help out a small content creator like myself. We are getting there. 319 subs at this time. I know we can continue to go. We're ahead of schedule here, so thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.